When I think of great candidates for Don't Skip, it's hard to imagine a better one than Ghost Trick. It comes from the talented mind of Shu Takumi, who is best known for his work on the Ace Attorney series. Ghost Trick is wildly inventive in just about every way. Sometimes originality comes at the cost of refinement, but that isn't true here. No matter how ridiculous the game gets with its story or puzzles, it presents things clearly enough that you're always along for the ride. While it's easy to go into detail about its many great aspects, the ultimate takeaway is that the world of Ghost Trick is simply so much fun. You play as Sissel, a ghost who's trying to figure out exactly who he is and how he died, all within the span of a single night. Despite the unfortunate circumstances, Sissel has a few tools to help him on his journey. He can rewind time to 4 minutes before someone's death, which is especially crucial if that person has important information. Just as vital, though, is Sissel's ability to possess inanimate objects, using what are known as tricks to manipulate them just enough to change the situation. It might mean causing a fan to blow or rocking a basket, whatever is needed to shift the course of events no matter how slightly. Because Sissel can only move between objects, sometimes that means rearranging an entire room just to get to a necessary spot. Puzzles often become elaborate Rube Goldberg machines, where what you do causes a satisfying chain reaction. As someone who can get frustrated with puzzle games, I think a lot of what makes the conundrums in Ghost Trick work so well is that they're smartly limited and seem to understand the thought process players go through. Even when situations are at their most dire, there's only a small number of things the player can possess and interact with. By limiting what can be used, it makes experimentation welcome, since there isn't an overwhelming number of options. With that said, having limited options doesn't mean puzzles are too simple. A lot of the skill comes from sequencing things in just the right way, or doing a ghost trick within a tight time frame. The game provides hints that nudge you in the right direction, without being overly revealing. These hints also happen when you don't quite solve the problem but are getting there, and sometimes knowing you're on the right track is all that you need. As enjoyable as the puzzle solving is, a lot of the game's strength comes from its irresistible likability. Songs from the soundtrack have bubbled up into my mind at different times because they're so catchy. The OST strikes a tone that feels in line with the dialogue and general vibe. It's at times skittish and tense, suiting the twisting crime drama that unfolds. But it also has this sort of optimistic bounce to it that does justice to the colorful and quirky characters. And what wonderful characters they are. The white-coated Cabanela often dances onto the scene trying to soak up as much attention as possible, which perfectly clues you in on his personality. The wide-eyed detective Lynn is always endearing, whether she's trying to get out of a bizarre and deadly predicament or simply just indulging her love of chicken. While the major characters are undoubtedly brimming with life, it feels like every character has some sort of interesting quality to them, no matter how minor. I would also be shocked to discover anyone in the entire world that dislikes the Chipper Dog Missile. He really is the best boy. As might be expected of a game dealing with supernatural elements and time manipulation, the plot of Ghost Trick can get pretty convoluted, but it never becomes a hindrance. The story has a ton of questions that need to be answered, and it only raises more as time goes on. Yet because it's measured and precise when it comes to revealing information, the winding narrative is easy to digest. The clever and cute humor makes it all the better. If digging out a DS or 3DS and tracking down a copy of the game seems like too big of an ask, Ghost Trick is also available on iOS, and I played through the whole thing on an iPad for this video. However, and whenever you choose to play, Sissel's Ghostly Adventures are delightful. It's the kind of game that effortlessly worms its way into your heart.